Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Weekly Games Chat. I am your host, Chris. As always, joined by my co-host, Sean.
Hello, how's everyone doing?
How was those chips?
The chips were fantastic. Moments ago, I swallowed them fast.
Were they dill?
Is it fast or fastly?
I don't know.
Or is it would be quickly, right? I swallowed them quickly, so would it be fastly? Is fastly a word? I don't know. I'm not on grammar patrol today.
Speaking of grammar patrol, also joined by John.
That makes no sense, but I'm
going to let that go because I'm just feeling positive vibes today. Nothing but positive vibes here at Weekly Games Chat.
Some PVs.
Here to bring you soft, sweet loving in your ear canals.
Why has he got his eyes closed? And what's he trying to freelance for right now?
That's freestyle.
Yeah, freestyle.
No, you're freelancing.
You're an idiot.
You're a moron in a nice shirt.
I was feeling the vibe, Sean, and you had to just come in and run it.
Hey, man.
You had to run it.
Hey, man.
This is my new thing. This is my new zen, my peace, my zen.
I don't like this one
because I don't have a TV. So there you go.
That needs to be talked about. What the is going on, John?
Just buy the TCL.
So Friday I woke up and I said, I'm not letting this go.
Right.
Until I get a definitive answer on what's going to happen with this freaking Samsung television.
Screw you, Elsa.
55-inch 4K UHD, HDR, or whatever. Anyway, I call customer service around noonish. I say, here's the problem I'm having. You guys have told me you're going to call me. You don't call me. You guys have told me again you're going to call me. You don't call me. I've been given 4.
You've taken time off work.
Yes, I have. I've been given 5 ticket numbers. 5 ticket numbers.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And this guy, for the first time, I had a customer service rep who was actually upset.
For you.
For me.
That's nice.
It was nice. It felt good.
Yeah, it does feel good.
Because you should be upset, right?
So he said, here's the thing, man.
Did you say, man?
No, he said, here's the thing, man.
Here's the thing, man.
I wrote up the ticket. Here's the new ticket number. I've made the notes. My suggestion to you is you call back here between 3 and 4. And I said Eastern time. He said Eastern time.
Oh.
He said that is the time, that is the hour in the day where there's more supervisors on the floor, giving you a better chance of getting to talk to a supervisor. So I called around 3. Talk to a customer service rep.
Like 2:59.
And these guys, you know how it is, and I understand how it is, and I get it. This job has got to be one of the hardest jobs in the world.
Customer service sucks.
You immediately get drawn into the script and you focus on the notes and what they say. And I said, ma'am, if you don't mind, I've heard all this before. I want to speak to a supervisor. So I got on the phone with a supervisor about 20 minutes later. That's how long I was on hold.
Right. That's not bad to get.
And this hold music,
terrible.
Don't want to hear it ever.
Not good?
Don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
What kind of music was it? Do you even remember?
It's the music they're going to play in hell.
Was it? Well, that's Doom music.
Well, I could take that then. But the supervisor says to me, "Oh, they declined this yesterday."
Oh.
I said, "Ma'am, I've spoken to 2 customer service reps today. Neither of them have told me that." She said, "No, it looks like it's just been denied." I'm like, "Well, since I've reached out, this was kind of my narrative for the day. Mm-hmm. Since I've reached out to your company has not sent me an email. They've not called me. They've not sent me a text. They've not sent me a smoke signal.
They haven't sent a technician?
Nothing. Since the day I reported the problem with my TV, your company has never once communicated with me. The only time I've ever been on the phone with this company is when I've called you. And you're telling me now that yesterday, without any notification, you guys declined it after you escalated it because you decided you didn't want to fix it. I need to speak to someone who runs your life." So I finally got to talk with, after being on hold. This took an hour and 20 minutes on hold. Because you know that thing where they call you and say, "We appreciate your call and we value your loyalty as a customer. We will call you back if you do certain this and this."
Yeah.
So I didn't do that. I listened to that music for an hour and 20 minutes and finally got on the phone with the person from, I guess, what they call the resolution team or something like that. And they said, "No, this has been declined. you don't have, your warranty doesn't cover this. I'm like, I was granted a temporary warranty in order to fix the television. Your company decided that you couldn't fix the television, so you escalated it for a replace. She said, yeah, that's true. Here's what we can do. You find a part, and we will cover the cost of the part. I said, ma'am, the technician from Norcross didn't even show up. I don't know what's wrong with the TV. Oh, sir, we know what's wrong with the TV. I'm like, you think you know what's wrong with the TV. I think I know what's wrong with the TV. But let's say I replace this part, and it turns out to be it's not the part. What are you going to do then? And it went back and forth. And I went through the whole spiel of 4 ticket numbers. A month goes by. You guys failed at every instance to communicate with me. So she puts me on hold. Comes back and says, sir, we are going to pay for parts and labor for the repair of this TV. But, and this is how she said it. She said it with this tone. We are not replacing this television. Now, I'd been on hold all like half a day.
Oh my God.
Everything inside me.
Well, I know the word that wanted to come out. I know.
And I held it back.
I know.
Because the reality is, I said to the lady, ma'am, that's all I ever wanted to begin with. I'm not trying to get a new TV out of you. I just want a TV that works. That's all I ever wanted. So, that being said, they're coming Thursday to fix the TV. Parts and labor covered.
Yay.
The first time it was just parts, and I would pay for labor. So now I've at least, there's a silver lining. But when all this is done.
Good movie.
When all this is done. And the technician has fixed my television, and maybe a few days go by, nothing's wrong. Mm-hmm. I'm going to the Samsung Facebook page.
And then you're just going to let them hear
It's going down.
It's going down.
I like it.
Because, the internet listens to me when I complain.
It doesn't matter.
They do. Yeah.
You'll feel better. You'll feel better. People will listen. Things will happen.
I know it's a first world problem. I know it's a first world problem. I know it's just a TV.
But your first world problem.
But it's a month.
Your first world problem began because you worked your first world A word. Can I say the A word or should I just say A word? I'll say A word.
Yeah, you should just say
made
A word.
Money to buy that TV.
Thank God we covered Switch games.
You chose to buy that particular TV, right? Because of Chris. Because we're looking at the same
He did
TV
recommend that TV to me.
He's had no problems, so let's put that out there.
Yeah,
His
we'll
TV is, it stays on.
I actually...
It really did. It was on all weekend for this game.
Top-notch TV at Chris's house.
I logged off Friday from work, right? And then I just switched it over to input 3, and it really didn't move. But
I did it.
Just check news.
Did you hear that? I did it.
Good job, Sean.
I did it. It's my first snap ever.
Wow.
But I'm not angry anymore.
That's good.
Because you're positive John now. Positive vibes.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far.
He watched Bob Ross all weekend.
Bob Ross.
Had some happy
streaming
trees.
live on Twitch.
Yep.
That dope smoking hippie.
I've been
I don't think he did smoke that.
I doubt he did too.
I don't think he did it.
He's a very...
No, I'm sorry. I was thinking of Mr. Rogers.
Yeah. He was a very...
Not him either.
very religious man.
Religious?
Bob Ross?
Yeah. Big Christian.
Who knew?
Big
Who
Christian.
knew? In preparation
That's why you'd always end it with take care and God bless. And then you do this little thing.
the little wave.
Yeah, that little wave. You're like, okay, what was that?
Peace out, Bob Ross.
Yeah.
I am getting ready for the football season that is going to be upon us
Football!
before we know it. I started watching for the first time on Netflix, Last Chance U.
Oh, God, I love that show.
Fantastic program.
My wife
So
said that out.
your wife. So you started all the way back with Buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he ain't there no more.
Well, thanks for that spoiler. I do appreciate it since
Yeah.
I'm not done with the second season.
No, they made it very adamant that they were.
It's fine
Yeah.
that they made it adamant that you knew about it since you've watched it, but I still don't know about it, and you've decided to tell me that Buddy got fired.
Man,
no, I
Chris.
didn't. No, that's not what I mean. Like they're at a different school now.
He can't wiggle out of this.
Play the tape.
It's true.
He can't wiggle out of this.
He
I honestly
fired
don't.
him, came out of his mouth.
Yes. And then,
No.
Right,
No.
there it is. The
No.
back pedal.
You're not hearing me correctly, I think.
I have on headphones.
Okay, let me say this again. The first 2 seasons are with Central, was it Mississippi, right? The last 2 seasons have been at a different school, not with Buddy or anyone related to the first 2 seasons. It's a completely different
But you
school.
said they fired Buddy.
No, I didn't say that.
You just said it.
Let's go. I will go back and I will play this.
What are you going to do when you go
You
back?
said they fired Buddy. You said
Chris.
he said thanks for telling me that they fired Buddy. I was like, I never said that, and
Maybe
I
that's,
didn't.
maybe that's what happened.
Yeah,
I could be wrong.
Either way,
We're gonna find out.
He has wiggled out of that. But that's what I've been watching because
That's cool.
I'd never watched it, and I in my job I had somebody who I'm training, and they go, well, somebody at our local school, like a local famous school that puts out football players, one of their or 2 of their players are going to go to wherever the school is for the next Last Chance U.
the one that's right now.
I don't know if it's the same one. It might be a different one.
It's like
But I was like, that's awesome.
It's like in Indiana or Kansas or something now. I don't know who it is, but it's like another one of those big schools.
I know.
You know?
It's part. The way they do it is there's part 1 of the Mississippi school, then a part 2 of the Mississippi school, and then a part 1 and a part 2 of whatever the next school is. But I haven't looked.
But there's been
Because spoilers.
Yeah, there's been a couple of them that have gone on. Lane Kiffin had a guy
That was on
that
Last
came.
Chance U?
Yeah, you're on the 2nd season. Yeah, you know him then. I won't say who it is, but you can probably figure it out knowing what Lane Kiffin is really good with.
It was funny to me how there's an Auburn player on the first one. He eventually signs to Auburn, and he's not really putting up stats at this school.
I think I remember him doing one play.
No, he had a game. It was an infamous game where there was a brawl.
That's right.
And in the game, he actually does well while the Auburn offensive coordinator is at the game.
Yes.
So this gets him the scholarship.
It's in 5 weeks, right?
I'm just talking about the show I'm watching.
Less than that.
I haven't even. I'm just telling you about the show
Is
I'm
it
watching.
4 weeks or 5 weeks?
You should be excited.
I can't. I don't want to.
If you want to go see us play Duke, you probably get a ticket for about $20
right now.
Nah.
I really want to thank the Duke Blue Devils for coming down to get whooped.
Jeez. Watch, and I made a joke today at work. I said, "Watch the Duke Blue Devil football program beat Alabama, destroy Tua, tackle blah blah blah."
This is Duke's year.
It might be. What if it's Duke's year? They're going all the way.
Watch. What if they lost to us and then just proceeded to sweep the ACC? Like
great.
just dominated Clemson.
That'd be fantastic.
I would love it.
Yeah, it'd be good stuff.
Ohio State would probably love that too.
Ohio. We have Buckeye fans that listen, huh?
Probably.
Yeah.
Statistically,
you know what's
it's
cool
likely.
about Ohio?
What?
It's high in the middle and round on both ends.
Ah.
Ohio.
I don't.
They like to dot the I. That's what they do.
I know.
See what I did? That was a really bad dad joke.
It was a dad joke.
That was a dad joke.
There's no such thing as a bad dad joke.
There's a such thing.
No. But yeah.
What'd you watch this week? Anything?
I rewatched No Country for Old Men. That still holds up.
That movie's fantastic.
Look
Call
at that effing bone.
Call it.
Yeah. Call it.
I remember watching it. I had no idea
I can't call it for you.
what this movie's about at all. And I have a friend, Eric, who we're hanging out at his house one day after work. And he's like, "Have you ever seen this movie?" I was like, "No." He's like, "Let's watch this movie."
I can't believe. I
That's
just.
a terrible error.
I know.
I'll never forget seeing that movie for the first time. I actually went to see it with Chris.
In the movie theater.
Yeah. Now that was the year that Chris was really rooting for
There Will Be Blood.
There Will Be Blood.
Mainly, and it was just because Paul Thomas Anderson.
Oh my
I was like,
Who's that?
I have no. That's
the
a
guy
name
who
drop.
directed
Who knows?
There Will Be Blood. But,
Why,
you know,
why can't we just go the director?
Why can't we be friends?
Why
the Coen
can't
Bros
we
already
be
had theirs, of
Did
course. Yeah, they got it for Fargo Best Picture.
Why can't they get another one if they're better?
And that's fine. I mean, like, they're both.
They didn't have one
To me,
for
like-
director.
I want to say they did.
Fargo?
Yeah. Fargo's usually regarded as their best film.
We have the power of the internet at our fingertips.
That is true.
Just putting that out there.
We also had the power to go back and hear what Chris said about spoiling.
That would have messed up the flow of the show, John. Production team behind the scenes is not live yet.
The break, though.
No, we don't need to do that. We don't need
Sean
to do
doesn't
that.
want to do
No.
it now because he knows what's.
I just want this show to go on because I want to eat dinner later. Anything to prolong that, I don't want to do.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Why do I
to talk
suddenly
to you.
sound like a smoker?
Right?
You sound like me,
Did we make out, John?
asthma kid. Jeez.
Thank you. All right.
Yeah.
What'd you watch this week, John?
Well,
Oh, yeah.
I've been watching things on my phone because
Like-
I have Netflix on my phone.
That's nice.
And I rewatch. I'm in the middle of rewatching Mindhunter because the next season's coming, I
Yeah.
think,
Soon.
soon.
Yeah, let's just go with soon.
And that's just one of the coolest series I've ever seen on Netflix.
That
really,
series-
really is cool.
I got to finish watching it.
There's more out there like me.
Yeah, how crazy is that, right?
You think so?
And you
It
could
did not
yeah.
win. It won for Best Actress in Original Screenplay.
That's what I thought, fool.
Yeah, that's what we get when Chris is wrong, by the way.
He's also wrong about something else.
We get the
But anyways, I feel like they had won for something, though, already.
No.
Maybe I'm wrong.
I thought they just won Best Picture. Is that right?
Let's see.
Let's not.
Since this is an audio podcast,
Right?
Fargo.
Wins.
7 noms, 2 wins.
So, yeah.
Nom noms.
Nom nom.
They should have won for Fargo.
There's I think a baby food called a nom nom. I think
Nom nom.
they're just very soft, things, so that the little babies can nom nom them. Nom nom.
But yeah, I love both those movies. And it definitely still holds up. I mean, which isn't really too surprising, right?
Yeah, it is.
At the same time, I also watched one that I had not seen. I told John, I was like, I don't know how this fell under my radar last year, but Widows is awesome. If you want like kind of a heat heist, type movie, go check that out.
Who's the
Widows.
star?
I can never remember her name. It's in The Help. Mm-hmm. Not Octavia Spencer,
I'm out then.
but the main woman from that, not Emma Stone, but man, what is her name?
We got the power of the internet again.
right?
Let's see if you can beat the listeners, who are undoubtedly doing the same search you are right now, sir. Widows, film.
Where
Who is it?
is Viola Davis?
Viola.
Yeah,
She's amazing.
this cast is pretty
pretty
stout.
legit.
Viola Davis, Michelle Rodriguez. She's new. She's actually in Elizabeth Debicki. She's in Chris Nolan's new movie that had that trailer come out. She's apparently in
Tenet.
Yeah.
Tenet. However you want to say
Tenet.
it.
Colin Farrell, Brian Tyree Henry, who's awesome on Atlanta. Daniel Kaluuya, who's from Get Out fame, main character from there. He's kind of like, you'd actually like that, Sean. He's kind of like a Stringer Bell type character.
I don't know what that means.
You've watched The Wire.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's Carrie Coon, Robert Duvall, and then Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
He's in there too.
I don't know where you are.
But yeah, it was a movie that, like, I don't know why it got kind of overlooked last year, but it did. And it's awesome. The opening scene in that movie is so tense and so well shot. So you got old, what's his face? Shane from Walking Dead.
I totally remember seeing this trailer and saying, I want to watch this movie. And whatever happened, I still haven't watched the movie. How'd you watch it?
It's on HBO Go.
Shut your face.
Yeah.
I too have HBO Go.
Go check it out.
It's going down for real.
I would tell you to watch The Favorite too, but I don't think that would be your kind of movie.
No, man. It's fine.
Don't you hate it when he says that kind of stuff?
Well, he knows.
You won't like it.
Because it's got singing in it and dancing.
No, not really.
And it's not a Disney movie. It's a musical. And
See,
I'm out.
and then,
not.
and then when you tell him why he says you won't like it, he goes, "No, that's not true." Pretentious.
It's one of those things, you just you learn people and you go like, I don't, from what I've gathered, they always say they don't like this kind of thing. And if they don't, if they do like it, I'm not like upset, like, I was wrong. But it's like, okay.
Can you not admit that sometimes we surprise you?
Yeah, sure. I love it when I'm surprised.
I never surprise Chris.
Yeah, that's also true.
You surprise me when I think you don't like music and then you bust out lyric to a song in the car. And I go, oh, yeah. Chris ruined music for John.
It's true.
My favorite
It is true.
discovery.
My wife helped.
Your wife.
My favorite
Just have
discovery
Yeah.
this week, by the way,
Your favorite
though,
what?
was on YouTube.
Your favorite what?
My favorite discovery of this week was
Okay.
on YouTube.
This segment is called "Let's Go Over Everything Chris Has Consumed, Media-Wise."
I'm sorry. I really appreciate your 9-minute fable on the journey with Samsung there.
For once,
For once in my life.
There's this thing called, this trend that's come out the last couple months, and I guess I finally stumbled upon it, which is hip hop like fans, right?
Yeah.
Hearing things like Lynyrd Skynyrd's "Freebird" for the first time.
Oh, and
And
they like
it's-
crying
it's a-
and stuff?
It's about as great as you would expect it, because at first they're like hearing it, it starts off so nice and peaceful, and they're like, I see why people they could relate this, and then it kicks into that guitar solo at the end, and then they just kind of sit there and gaze like, dear God, the power of Southern heritage right
as in
there.
they don't like it or they do like it.
No, they love it. I mean, it's hard. I think "Freebird's" a hard song to hate.
Like he says, one of the trends now is to have, black guy who claims on YouTube he's hip hop guy, listen to like Pink Floyd, and then they
Had that today.
They react to it, or
life.
then you have rocker listen to a certain
Yeah.
R&B, and that's the way they're spinning it, because you wouldn't expect this person to, one, listen to said music, and then two, react to it in a certain way.
I had that today. Like a good friend, Brandon,
Yeah.
he's like, I'd never heard Pink Floyd before. And like, Brandon's a guy who really likes music. He's mainly hip hop, but I was like, you should check that out, because it's very
powerful,
distinct. Yeah. It's very powerful stuff. And he came back, he's like, yeah, that Time song. That's some
the
crazy
one.
stuff. Yeah.
If you listen to Time for the first time, right, and like say somebody just passed away and they're on your mind, you'll tear up listening to that song.
I got to Google.
Or
Pink
Wish You Were
Floyd.
Here.
John's got a Google Pink. They got a good song about money, John.
They do.
When is it Pink Floyd? Every time I hear Pink Floyd, I think about their famous poster
Yeah.
of the ladies at the pool.
Oh, yeah.
And
With
is
all
it
the
is,
album
is that
covers.
the Dark Side of the Moon album?
It's no, it's basically
The Wizard of Oz. You play Pink Floyd album.
Oh
next to
yes,
Wizard
yes,
of Oz?
that's Dark Side of the Moon.
Yeah.
That's not the cover for it, but yes. The poster you're speaking of is like all their album
No, I
covers.
wasn't talking about two things.
But yeah. I do love that album.
That's good stuff.
I do like that poster.
Speaking of music,
Heart shaped. What?
that's nice.
Very nice.
Anyway,
Very, very nice.
you guys want to
Is this a good time to go into the thing? Does it feel right?
It feels.
I mean, I got to be honest. It feels like I went, and I hit a wall as opposed to through going to the doorway. So it doesn't feel quite right, but it'll work.
Let's see.
Do you feel that same way, or are we good?
Was I
I'm
supposed
good.
to tell a story about this?
I don't know.
You can do
I've
that
already
now.
told a story.
No, but you can tell the other story about the
But we don't know what the topic is, do we?
We do know. It's Fire Emblem. Go.
Let's go to the topic.
Topic time.
The topic is
Push the button. How did you mess that up?
I
Do it again. Reset. Go.
houses.
You know, he got that wrong the first time.
He did Fire Emblem
I did.
Houses 3.
I don't think you've played this game.
I don't know.
Really?
I don't think you have.
Chris, don't get all.
Let's go back to the
that's
tape
bait.
of
I don't
last
think
night.
you've played this
It's
at
trolling, Chris. It doesn't mean it. We've all seen your
John.
Switch hours played of this stupid game.
Which chapter are you on?
Oh my, that is pretentious.
all. I don't even know.
That's pretentious.
I told you you'd do it.
Yeah.
No.
I don't. I guess chapter 2. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
think
don't
it's like
have
2 or 3, right?
Yeah.
Well, considering the intro is like an hour for no reason.
No
Hey,
joke.
Hey, but who was there in your time of need, John?
You were, buddy.
Yeah.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
I was struggling
John
through
was
some
struggling.
combat mechanics,
And I
couldn't-
helped him.
Yeah, because they suck.
Um,
Don't you do that to me, Ricky Bobby.
They don't suck.
Oh no.
They are not approachable.
You've fallen for the trap.
You would never call a game like this intuitive. You would not do that.
Would you be mistaken if you called a game like this intuitive?
Very much so.
We have
It's
the
so intuitive. It's so anti-intuitive that Chris has 3 pages of notes.
We do have notes. They're making their presence. That's going to be very loud.
I know.
And some iPod and earphones.
I almost tore the paper.
He didn't mean it.
Did you write a dissertation on the history of the studio that brought us
not.
Fire Emblem?
It's just, man, it's one of those things where
No, it's not.
when you talk about these games, Japan, man, there's a lot of there's so much in this game.
You don't got a Japan? That's an illegal use of the voice modifier.
It's a flag on the play.
Negative 5 minutes on the podcast.
We'll take the penalty. It's worth the celebration. Mark Rick did it.
I do ask that, and you do have notes and you're prepared. John's played and all that stuff. I do want to hear John's story at some point about his purchase, but I also want you to think of me when you give your dissertation of this game.
I'm never going to think of you.
See, that's
What do we
just
call
me.
this type of game?
Turn-based strategy RPG.
Strategy RPG.
Yeah.
Not turn-based RPG.
No. It's, whereas a classic turn-based JRPG is like you on the screen and you're not moving, right? You just have your 4 people there and they take turns.
Like Octopath.
Yes. That would be that.
Great
This, on the other hand,
Perfect example.
the evolution of it, like the next big thing that was supposed to be after they had that kind of game was this, right? Where it's like, hey, now you can take your character and they can move and the enemy can move. So you have to, account for it.
It's like Mario plus Rabbids.
It's not.
Except this one is one of the ones that wrote the book.
Don't take up for this over Mario and Rabbids. Step 1, take up for this over Mario and Rabbids. You better mention how it felt like Harry Potter at some point.
It did. It very much did. I even had like a Snape dude in my house. I was like, you were totally the Snape of my crew.
Yeah.
Because he's always like, what are you doing? And you're just like, I know you're an evil guy, but deep down,
You're also a good guy.
You got a heart of gold, I bet.
And you love my mom.
So, for those who have never played a Fire Emblem game, as John said, turn-based RPG, stratical, tactical and strategy, stratical, right?
Fire Emblem House. Go ahead.
Takes place this time on the continent of Fodlan.
What does that mean?
Fodlan.
It's just a name of a place.
Okay.
We'll go with that. And on this continent, there are 3 empire/groups that control it, right? There's the Adrestian Empire.
Adrestrian.
Yeah. There's the Holy Kingdom of Fagus, right?
Yeah.
Got that?
I like them so far.
And there's the, is it like Leicester? Like Lancaster? I'm not sure how you say that.
Can you show it to me?
Right there. Leicester?
Leicester.
Yeah, let's go with that. Leicester. Worcestershire Alliance. Worcestershire.
That's the right way to say it.
Yeah.
What you just
and they are all tied to one thing, which is the Church of Saros, which is located in a place called Garrick Mach, which has a monastery, which is in the very middle of the map, right? So, like, you have all these companies that have different countries that have different regions of the map. In the middle is the church, and basically they're all in agreement there. They support the church, and the church is there, and they send all their young nobles to this church.
Some commoners.
To do what?
Yeah, and commoners.
To do what?
To basically be educated and to become
learn the arts
lords.
of combat.
Yeah, and all that good stuff.
Sorcery, archery.
And those
hand.
And as
nose picking,
as there are these different countries, right, throughout the continent of Fodlan, in the monastery, there are corresponding houses that correspond to each country, right? So, like for the Empire, there's the Black Eagles. For the Kingdom, there's the Blue Lions, and for the Alliance is the Golden Deer. John, I think you want Golden Deer.
Don't tell them my business.
And I went with the Black Eagles.
Don't tell them. You spoil it.
I'm sorry.
Why's that? Why would you
It's
do
not
that?
really a spoil.
Well, it kind of is. He might add a lead in for what house he chose and why.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Why did you go with the Black Eagles? Because she was hot?
No, I just like someone told me when I was like, because I asked the stream, I was like, who should I go with? Like, I asked them for everything. I was like, should I go with a male or female for my character? And they said female. So I was like, all right, female. And then,
Progressives.
and then,
What does that mean, John?
I went with
Yeah, I
the female
know.
too.
and then for a house, I was like, which one should I pick? And Iron Puppy was on there. He said, everyone's saying that the best in terms of RPG story is Black Eagles. And I was like, well, I like that. So I said, well, let's go with it. How about you?
Who'd you go with?
I almost said the Black Deer. The Golden Deer. House of the Golden Deer. House of the Golden Deer.
What was the one I said sounded cool?
I got the impression
That one, right?
Blue Lions. I figured you would have gone with Blue Lions.
You think so?
That's just kind of who.
If I would have bought this
He's
garbage
like a
game,
cop.
But I guess I was doing a little bit of research. It might not have been accurate research, but it seemed like the Black Eagles had more magic in their class. Mm-hmm. Blue Lions were more hand-to-hand combat.
John Rambo style.
And Golden Deer was like a mixture of the two.
Yeah.
That's a little bit true, but a lot false. But it's fine. Doesn't really matter.
It seems like you want to backstep.
Yeah, I'm fine.
It's
with
like-
it.
You good? Okay.
Yeah,
nothing
Black Eagles, as far as their initial makeup, Edelgard, who's the house leader, is kind of a straight up warrior, right? But you do also have one of the best healers or potential healers in the game. You have a really powerful black mage.
They do magic.
Yes. But then you also have people who are good with bow and arrows. You know, there is a mixture into there. About the only thing that's really missing from the start with the Black Eagles that I noticed was a tank, you know, which is why I went and stole your boy.
Let me ask you this though, and if you said it, I didn't catch that you said why. But what prompts you to have to choose a house? Like, is that a spoilery?
I don't know.
Or is
Get
that
to it in a second.
Yeah, I mean, you're basically prompted by the story. You're recruited as a teacher, and you
Okay.
get the first choice to choose your house.
Yeah. You in this are Blythe. I think that's how the name
I
is.
renamed it.
Yeah, same. I named her Eowyn.
Did you?
I did.
I named mine Sereth.
And then, like, whenever I come up to someone, especially Gerald, and that's his name, the dad, right? Your dad. in it.
Geralt. Yeah.
Yeah, I expect for him to go, I know your face.
I know your face.
But it never happens. But yeah, the idea is that Gerald and your character, male or female, start out the game as mercenaries. They've been mercenaries for a long time. They're very good at being mercenaries. And they run into the instance where they run into the leaders of these houses who are out there trying to protect from some villagers. You help them. You go back to Garrick Marsh, or I keep saying that wrong, but you know, the monastery, the church. And you meet with the church leader who is Lady Rhea. And basically Lady Rhea knows Gerald and kind of says, hey, we really need you right now. Like, some shady stuff's going on. It seems like some people are challenging and attacking the church. Please come in. And he agrees to do it. And she takes in you, Lady Rhea does, and says, hey, I think our students would do well and you would do well if you taught them. So go around, meet the houses, and
Lead them to their death.
yeah, because we need a professor to lead one of these houses. And you seem like you're a mercenary. You'll be great at it.
Chris, I think it should be noted that they didn't do a background check.
No, they didn't.
They didn't check her
Terrible.
credentials. She has no certifications that I'm aware of.
She looks young.
She's basically the same age. I'm not getting it yet. So there's sort of a problem here with
She's
their
kinda-
HR department.
It's like picking
They'll
up.
just hire anybody.
It's like picking up Captain Ron and leaving him with your kids. Everyone ever seen Captain Ron with Kurt Russell?
Oh yeah.
Hey, boss. Anyways, but yes. So you get assigned to the school and your house, and once you get your house, you kind of get thrown into a calendar month is the best way to say it. And this is
that's how the story progresses.
Yeah.
It goes through a calendar.
Every week, you're going to teach your students, and you can choose what they focus on. You can invest extra time to certain people to say, hey, I really want to make sure you level this up right now.
Meet
like
me after class.
Yeah, like I want to do this. And the way you kind of figure that out is they have classes. They kind of start very basic, like just get your bow and arrow to like level C and stuff like that, to then the higher ones where it's like not only does your bow and arrow need to be A, but you need to have flying up to B, and you know your lance abilities up to A as well.
What is level E? What does level E stand for?
It very low.
None of that had E in it.
Yeah. I think it just kind of goes on the grading curve. Like, so,
Okay.
right, everything starts out at E, and then it eventually goes up to A plus if you get there. But yeah, so you kind of have to look at your characters and figure out how you're going to build them and train them. There's also throughout the week, like kind of co-op training. Like you pick two people and go like, I want you to go to the stables and get on these horsies together.
Clean the stables.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. And like then their horsey stuff is better, and you're like, good job, horsey stuff.
Yeah. And these are tasks that help the students kind of bond with each other.
Correct. They bond, and then they also level up their stats. But at the end of all that training on Sundays, you get a free day, and there's a couple things you can do with it. The first and foremost important one, I would say, is you can explore the monastery that you're at. Whereas when you're in combat and doing things, you're always out there, you know.
Do you have time to check
you're out
your
there
Twitter?
like in a certain view. Yeah. He's not checking Twitter. He's playing a game.
I'm checked out, dude.
Yeah.
I'm done with
I don't
talking.
know why. But yeah, you're there you go around the monastery, which is a 3D environment, and you meet all the students, not only in your house, but with other houses. And that's important because you start to realize what everyone's stats are, what they're good at, what their personalities are. And you start to look at your house and going, where am I weak? What am I missing right now? What do I need? And you can do things while you're in the monastery to win those students over, where if you do it well enough, they'll eventually come over and join your house. It takes some time. Like there's only one, I think that's pretty easy by default to get right away. I stole Sylvain from the Blue Lines.
Okay. I've been asking everybody. I probably come off as pretty desperate.
Hey man,
Hey,
what do you
you
want?
wanna come
Nah,
over?
dog. Nah.
Oh, man, you look pretty. Well, you don't even have credentials.
And someone's already figured it out. And once I figured this out, pro tip, if you want to get people, the main thing you have to do is just get their support level with you to B, and then they'll approach you to join their house.
I like a good pro tip.
Yeah. So like, just go up there and like give them gifts and stuff. That's what I do. Just give them tons and tons of gifts and lost items and all that good stuff.
Here's a fish.
But yeah, so that's kind of like one option. That's probably the big one, right? Walking around, talking to all these people getting there. You can also go to other professors and things like that and level up your own personal stats if there's things you want to focus on. You know, like if you find the guy who's got like a big axe on his back, he probably can teach you a lot about axe stuff if that's what you need to get good at.
Axe body spray.
And then there's things like tournaments that you can get into. There's a choir practice. There's gardening. Most importantly, there's tea time.
Yes, of course.
Yes,
I've heard
you
a lot
must-
about tea
Yes,
time.
yes. You must have tea parties where you must answer 3 correct leading questions into conversation, because that is the art of good tea time.
That's right.
And I don't like afterwards, if you get perfect, you get to like look in intently at them and move the camera around.
That's
I don't know
weird.
why. Yeah. I was like, I don't understand this. Yeah. But it all leads to the next thing that most people will do throughout the month. And of course, it's the thing that attracts most people to these games: battles. You go out there and you got all sorts of battles, right? You got your main side quest you can do. You got your auxiliary battles, which usually are higher danger, but offer some very nice rewards, right? Like if you need gold early on, they'll be like, here's a ton of gold if you beat this. There's things that come later called paralogs, which are basically like story missions for the characters that you've met in the game and befriended, right? So like, say one of them was, I'm trying to think of a good one here, early on was the guy who's with the Lady Rhea Sedith and Flame, his sister. They had an issue, so I go back to their hometown and I got more context about where they came from, how they ended up with the church, things like
Where
that.
did they get their green hair?
Yeah. And that leads into, I think, the most important thing that people will probably look at, and that's the actual combat. How is the combat? Is it fun?
Sucks.
I think you just suck at it. And I have to say, for a game that has permadeath in it, one, it's very forgiving, and two, every time I feel like I've got everything under control, right? Like I'm just rolling through people, there seems to be a spike and I get rolled real quickly because I haven't respected what the world is doing around me. And then I have to adjust and think, okay, how the hell do I overcome this new obstacle?
Right.
Everyone on the stream Monday night saw it, like where I went into a main story mission and I got worked. Yeah. I mean, like very first turn after I moved my people, someone died. That's how quickly it happened. I was like, oh. But luckily, death is not the end right away with this game. It does have a bailout option where our character has the option to rewind time, right? So you can get past those problems where you make a mistake. Like you early on, you shouldn't be afraid to make, well, maybe not early on, but once you get to the midpoint in this game, you learn that because of this ability, you're not as afraid to make a mistake, right? Because you just understand, okay, look, if this doesn't work out, I'll just rewind the turn and I'll adjust accordingly. But you also understand you shouldn't be, I guess, ho-hum with it, right? Like where you're just, put everyone in danger, see what happens, right? That's
move
a bad
over
thing.
Here. Let's move this guy over here.
Because you learn real quick in this game, like, look, the enemy is not dumb, to its credit.
Sure.
Like, the enemy will respond to what you're doing. If you move 3 people into attack range on them, right? And the enemy can hit any of them, it's going to go for the one that either multiple enemies could hit in one go if not all of them are reachable by all enemies, right? And 2, it's probably going to go the one with the least amount of defense. Mm-hmm. Like, it's aiming to get kills on you. Because they understand, again, there's no rescuing that person. If you leave them dead, they are dead. And luckily I haven't lost anyone yet, but you know, there have been some times where I've watched people get one-shotted and I go, you will move to the back now till we take care of thing over there. Yeah. Because I'm not exposing you again to these horrors of war. But I like it because it's a good mixture. Like, there's cool tandems you can do together, like pairing tanks and mages or tanks and bow and arrow folks, right?
Yeah. And by tanks, you mean just heavy people.
Yeah.
Like brutes.
Like brutes. Yeah.
Sorry.
Like Ralph is probably my favorite. He's actually, of all the characters, personality wise in the game, he's been my favorite. He's just kind of cool.
Blonde guy?
Yeah. Okay. He's just like, hey, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to take care of my little sister.
Yeah, he's very non-assuming.
Yeah. He's all like, oh, man, I don't know how to button my shirt right.
Yeah, he clearly doesn't.
No. But he's awesome to pair with people like Hubert, who basically looks like Snape.
Now, when you say pair, what are you talking about?
I mean, like when I move them together, like in tandem, I'm always thinking, how can they operate together? Because as I... being able to go up to certain enemies and going like, okay, let's see what Ralphie can do first by himself. And I go up and I go, oh, Ralphie by himself ain't going to take down this person. And it's going to cost him 20 health if I just, like, I'll hurt him very badly, right? You know, but Ralphie's going to take a hit if I just go straight up with Ralphie, right? But if I pair him in movement with our Hubert or Bernadetta, who's my archer, right? I can move them in a way where Bernadette stays back, and because the person I'm attacking is melee, she can rain down some arrows on him and pretty much get him to nothing, and she's not going to take any damage because he can't reach her.
Right.
And then Ralph can come in and basically one-shot them, you know.
Okay. Got it.
Or sometimes, you know, she'll take them out herself.
Is that rain of arrows like a future skill?
As you get later into the game, you get better weapons, and they just, as their stats go up, they'll sometimes combo and do like multiple attacks. Like I have one right now on her. She has a brave bow equipped, which guarantees she's going to shoot at least 2 arrows if necessary.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, you know, like she's become, like early on, I had to work to really figure out how to get her involved, but now she's become one of my more powerful and important people. Like the one I was doing right before we started recording today, she's pretty much holding down the left flank for me. Like Ralphie's there if someone gets through, but you know, right. to be defensive, but she is just, she's raining them down really hard. She's climbed a lot of levels fast.
So Huts, the battle I fought last night was an early battle, as you know, but it took a long time. What's like the shortest battle you've had? Let's say in the main story, what's the shortest battle you've had?
Most of them have been the side quests where they're like, okay, hey, we're doing these training exercises, like train with the knights. And I got to a point with those where I was clearly higher than they were. Those took maybe like 4 turns. So maybe like 6 minutes.
What are your levels sitting at with your characters these days? What do we consider high in this game?
I think 50 is max.
Okay.
If I recall. And I'm like in the high 30s right now.
All right.
So kind of moving to the last part of this, you know. The only thing is that I kind of screwed up the way I was educating people for the end game. I was more focused on getting to the next tier of skills, and it's led certain things astray. So whenever I do new games,
I don't think I've cracked that code yet.
Yeah,
but
and I would say this is one criticism, or one of the criticisms I would have of the game, is that I don't feel like, even though there are tons of skill classes in there, I don't think there's a lot of room for experimentation, because I think it's in your interest for end game early on to pick which way you're going to end up, where you know this ship is heading to, right? And work towards those stats at all times. You know, go like, okay, these are the 3 core stats for this class that I'm trying to get to. These are the 3 I need to focus on right now, no matter what. As opposed to the fact that, like, the skill before it, or the class before it, right, at the level before, right, because it goes from the first level of class is intermediate, then it's advanced, then it's master, and I think there's like an end game final one that you can get some special ones. The master stats might say, to make myself a holy knight or whatever, right, I need to have at least B+ reason, B+ on lancing, and A on riding. But the class before that, the holy monk, I have to have, in order to obtain that for the, you know, advanced class, the one that's below it, I have to have an A rating on reason. So I'm like, why am I focusing on lance and faith when they are not playing any part of what I'm doing right now, right? I do not have, you know, this guy has been my healer. I have not put any lance on him at any point. He's had no reason to, you know, so that's been the one part where I'm like, I need to manage that better next time. Like, where I just need to kind of go, okay, I think this is where I want to play this on this run with this character and see what happens, as opposed to how I did it here, where I was like, how do I just get to the next class? Because now I have like a bunch of people that have those 1 or 2 stats that are like A and B, you know, they're high level, right? But then they have all these other things that I'm grinding, just trying to get from level E all the way up to some, if I'm lucky, are C, but a lot of them are B plus, and that takes a good while to do. So I am working on that. That's probably one of my only really big criticism as far as progression in this game. But yeah, the actual game. So we gave the setup. The actual story itself basically comes down to the idea of someone is attacking the church or challenging the church, right? And it's taking these three houses and going through, for the first half of the game, kind of like a full year at the school. And then with the actions that happen at the end of the year of the school, that launches us into the second part of the game, which I won't say anything about or spoil, but it just, if you're wondering how this is going to go, part one for everyone is for the most part going to be the same. Just your interactions with certain people will be different, right? Obviously, you're talking to Claude, who's the leader of the Golden Deer, whereas I am talking to Edelhart, who is the leader of the Black Lions.
Eagles.
Or, yeah, sorry, yeah, I know. It's so easy to mix them up, isn't it?
Indeed.
Yeah. I wish I was a lion. Seems like it should have been the Blue Eagles. Just doesn't make sense. What were y'all thinking? And she wears red everywhere. Why isn't she just red? But I think it's also cool as you go along, the fact that whereas that first half will be the same, the second half will split off and be, I mean, like I could see it now, right? Like I know you haven't gotten to that, but like it's going to be very different depending on how you're playing. And then there's actually even a fourth option for the game that is exclusive as far as the storyline, that's exclusive to the Black Eagles that I figured out afterwards. And that's cool. So, tons of replayability here, right? If you love the strategy of this, you're going to get hours upon hours upon hours of that.
Of pleasure.
Yeah.
How many hours have you gotten of pleasure?
I've, according to my clock, which to be fair, I think part of it is just because I might like have my Switch on the menu screen while I switch over to the PC, right? Mm-hmm. But for the most part, it's been about 40 hours on there. So I'm guessing it's probably more like I've played for 30 if I'm going idle time, factoring that in.
Why didn't you finish it?
Because some of them battles are long. Yeah. Let's see. What else is there?
You don't need those, girl.
I know. These are just trying to make sure I covered everything, right? I don't know. How are you liking it so far, John?
Yes and no. Mm-hmm. I'm not in love with it yet, but that has a lot to do with, just kind of playing a new type of game for the first time, particularly something like this.
Yeah, because you've done Kingdom. But...
Yeah, and one of the things I've been trying to do the past couple of years is stretch a little bit on things that I typically play. But this one is just, it has a knack for rewarding you with little things over and over, which can be addicting. But once you get into this lull where you find yourself stuck, for someone like me, it is not fun. Like I finally just gave up and went to bed with that battle I was doing last night, the night before that. And I thought I'd, get on the Discord and see if anybody could talk me through it, because I just wasn't understanding the strategy part of the strategy RPG, But it's going to take time, and I'm going to stick with it. And, I have a feeling that once I get it, I'll really enjoy it. But right now it's been a mixed bag, but that's not a bad thing.
Sure.
So
some other things I like about it, the cutscenes in this are done in animated. There's not a lot of them, which is a little bit of a criticism, but when they actually do have them, they're in the beautiful like anime art style. Like it looks like a classic, I would call like an 80s style anime art style to me. And it is beautiful to see, and some of them are very epic to watch. Especially like the opening scene is kind of like a flashback to the history that shows a famous encounter with the church. and it looks BA, right? You're like, oh my Lord, you just lit him up. And then she just straight up just starts stabbing him. Remember that part?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the context behind that. But
Yeah, it comes
it
on
was a
later.
cool scene.
But yeah,
I like stabbing.
I also the music in there top notch, and I like the cast of characters, right? Like, because the thing about like a lot of those Japanese RPGs that have a large, group of characters for you to go around, like sometimes they just kind of come off of like, here's a stereotype of something, right? Like, here's the introvert, here's the muscular guy. And that's all they are. Like Octopath, you can make an argument to that. Like a lot of times because of the way the game is designed, that outside of those moments where you're actually focusing on that one character, you don't necessarily get that much, right? Versus this, where you have these initial interactions with them and you're like, God, this guy's a jerk. Like Sylvain's a good one, right? Sylvain is like consistently the ladies' man who's going around just hitting on every girl that's in front of him. But then at the same time, completely doesn't get why girls would start crying because of the way he's treating them, like when he just throws them to the side. But then as you go through the game, you start to get context to why they are the way they are, right? Which is like Sylvain, he's sitting there and he's like, look, I'm a lord, right? I'm going to be forced to be married off at some point for the sake of, the sake of like my house and all those things. And at the same time, part we really haven't talked too much about this game. There's a big thing with family lineage in this, because the noble families, they have these things called crests in their bloodline, which allows them to command these things called holy relics, which are the big powerful weapons of this world, right? He's like, all these girls, that's what they want. They just want this because they know if they get into my bloodline and I produce a child, right?
That's a funny way of putting it.
Yeah, like
you're just trying to get into my bloodline.
Yeah, like he says it. He's like, they try to get into my bloodline and hope that they have a child that bears a crest like mine. That child automatically becomes made for life. The first one that has that gift. So he's like, why the hell should I take relationships seriously when no one cares about what's happening to me? And when you look at that perspective, you're like, okay, he's still an a-hole. Sure. But like you at least you have context of it. And over time you do see growth with him based on your conversations. There's also romance apparently in the game, but outside of like some leading interactions and the fact that like when you respond a certain way, you see some little hearts. It's not like Mass Effect or anything.
Well,
right?
the heart doesn't always mean love; it means loyalty.
It means
right?
love. Like later on, you can be like, "I think you look cute too," and she'll be like, "Ooh, hearts." So that's all there. I also personally, Black Eagles, I really did enjoy. Like Iron Puppy said, like I hear that's the best RPG like thing, and I will say this game made me halfway through. At the end of part 1, I had to make 2 save files because the choice I had to make in that storyline, I would tell everyone at some point, there's a thing you have to do to unlock the 4th story option. But make sure you set that up when you do the Black Eagles. Just go out there and like look at it. You can look at it without getting too much of a tease. It was so hard. And I was just like, I don't know what's the right way to go with this. And from what I've been told by this game about everything and now what I'm being presented with, it's very, very, very hard. But I love that, right? Like that's how an RPG should do. An RPG should put you into places where you have to make difficult choices, and you don't necessarily know when you make that choice that you've made the one that throughout the history of time is going to be well revered, right? Like, I don't know, Robert E. Lee or something. Something like that, Cutscenes, as far as criticism, while they're beautiful, there are some epic moments in this game where I'm like, why isn't there a cutscene right here? Like literally, and I don't mean like you got something in the world, right? Like where it's an engine and when they could have done a cutscene. I mean like there are points where epic things are happening and all you get is a still image of epic thing instead of, either in-game engine or an animated art style.
Sure.
And while that might be fine for something on 3DS or whatever, I feel like this is a Switch game.
It's a handheld.
Yeah, it's a sure, it's an 11 gig game, but I'm like, we're in 2019.
That's pretty big.
You could do this in Zelda. You can do this here, right? Yeah. Like, it's not like it's that strenuous of a thing. So I don't know if it's just a budget thing for the studio itself or whatever. I don't know. I also don't like I also don't like the menus too much, right? Menus are pretty... Like, there are some of them you really have to dig down into to find everything.
Well, the systems feel like sometimes they're built and stacked on each other.
Yeah, it feels like something from the olden days as opposed to like, there's not like a button you just hit and you're into a digital menu where you can get to everything. It's like, no, here's this one thing I can look at right now. And then if I want to look at this other thing, I can go back out and go to this main menu and then go down a list of 12 things and then figure out which one's the right one.
And that's almost like it has menus for different functions of the game.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, I didn't like there's as I said, like support is a big thing in this game. Like, as far as building up characters and making them more effective. And speaking of that menu, like there's the support stuff between your characters, which gives them boosts and buffs, right? When you're fighting with them in battle. That's like buried way deep in the menus. And if you're like, there are times I forget to look for it and then I go back and I've got like 20 conversations that were unlocked and I sit there for 40 minutes going through them and watching them. That should be something that's reminded to you throughout. And that should just be something that is easily accessible by default menus, right? I shouldn't have to go digging for that information when it's something that's kind of vital for your gameplay experience, I think. I don't know. John, do you have anything?
Not really. It's just
yeah.
I would say, it sounds like it almost sounds like I haven't played this game, but I've clocked 6 hours on this game. It's just it takes a while to get into the story, and I guess JRPGs seem to get away with that.
Yes.
Other games don't get tolerated for that. I mean, even one of the biggest criticisms about some Zelda games is it takes forever to get into the story. Well, I'm 6 hours in and nothing's really, everything's just progressing really slow, but that's, I guess, part of the grind, and it's just part of the expectation. Like when you buy games like this, people who like games like this is probably what they do it for. Some people like the grind.
Yeah. I was wondering about that too when I started out. Like, I remember.
Is this your first?
Yes,
Fire
this
Emblem?
is. And like Iron Puppy was worried about it too. He's finally bought the game and he said, I think he actually wrote an email in, but from what I gather, he was worried, but he's enjoying now.
Yeah.
And like, those like first couple of hours, it's a lot of talking. It's a lot of exploration and a lot of distance between battles, right?
Yeah.
But then once you get into the meat of it, you like start realizing, okay, because of the calendar setup, it's like, okay, week 1, go talk to everyone. That takes maybe 45 minutes. Then week 2, week 3, you're fighting and you're preparing. And then the end of the month, you're doing the main battle, right? Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, it still has me interested, know, but we'll just have to see how it goes.
Sure.
JRPGs are so weird.
They are. They're very unique. But yeah, I think
there's no way for me to give a Richard to this. So
yeah, I think that for most people, if this is the kind of game you like. If you've never played one, try it out. See if it is for you. I would definitely say this isn't a bad one to come in on.
It's the 15th one in the series.
Yeah,
these things go all the way back to
like
GameCube
80s.
and
I think the first one was on Game Boy.
Maybe, yeah. Game Boy Color.
Yeah, the last one that was on consoles was the original Wii. Yep, I believe. For me, I I've thought about it, and like this game at times I was like, this could be a 10, but then like little things I started to notice, so I was like, oh, that could be better, like the menu thing, right? Or I said like it takes the first half of the game takes place during a school year, and they have these, you've probably seen it now, like they have these beautiful intros to every chapter, like where this dude with the most calming voice comes on there and he's like, Part 1, White Flower, Crimson Moon, the battle.
Set up an audio recording where he just names all the chapters.
Yeah, I think I said to John this week, it's like I need this guy to just say, like, I need him on loop and I can just listen to his voice to fall asleep because
White
it's very nice.
Lotus, yes, your mom's box.
But
life.
But anyways, I like it, like those parts. And he talks about all the seasons and the changing, like, people living their lives, right? You don't ever see that reflected in the monastery, though. Like, it's Christmas time, it's winter, and you're in the middle of the continent by a mountain, and there's no snow on the ground.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe they just have a thermostat that is really advanced.
It's things like that, like where you start to see the cracks, and like then you start to peel back, and you're like, okay, this is a solid game. It's a very good game, but it's not like, maybe what I'd hoped at one point because I had never played this series it would be, right? But it's hard to argue that it's not very well made and very well done. So I would say my Richard is probably a 9 right now. Definitely one of the best games I've played of the year, especially for this kind of genre. And it's a reminder because I just wish there was more of these. And I always give these high because I always enjoy the gameplay, like Into the Breach last year and this.
You might want to check out Wargroove for the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
That's another one.
I think it's on the Wargroove's like on everything.
Yeah, it might be. Just play it on the Switch, okay?
Jeez. I'm not playing it on Switch, John. But yeah, I enjoy it. I hope you stick with it. I'm kind of glad we don't have many things for the rest of this month until the back half when Control comes out.
Wolfenstein.
You have that. You can go play that. I'll play that when it comes to Games Pass. But I'll be there for this. For the rest of this month, I think. So I'm like, oh, cool. New Game Plus. I get to carry over all my progress for how much I've upgraded Teach here.
Well, I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see what this game and Marvel Ultimate Alliance looks like on a 55-inch TV. So maybe that'll happen.
It's a mystery. I think that's been your problem. You can't see the tactical things come at you because you're just looking at a small Switch screen as opposed to a huge thing.
So I saw this IGN article that posted that this was going for $49.99 on Amazon. This game. So I clicked the link, and
that's right.
Dude, this game is selling out everywhere. I tried to pick it up 2 days before I managed to pick it up at GameStop, and our guy that works at the EB Games, he was calling everywhere, and it was just gone. Nobody had any copies of it. So I finally see it looked like Target had responded to compete with Amazon's offer, and they said $49.99. You can either order it to ship or order it to pick up in a store. So I was right there at Target, so I just walked in and said, will you match that price on your Target website? He goes, no, unfortunately, you have to buy it. I'm like, so you're saying I have to buy it online and then pick it up in the store? And I finally just sort of caved and just bought it. And I went, you know what? No. I went to customer service. As I'm walking out of the store, I'm like, that guy told me that I had to buy it online and then come in and pick it up. And he goes, no, we can take care of this, no problem.
No one does that.
I managed to get it for $49.
It sounds like a guy just being lazy. I don't want to do this.
But some people are just so process oriented that they can't think outside the box.
Yeah.
It's not a criticism. We need people like that. But anyway, I mean,
I hear you, Penny.
It's just if you look hard enough, you can find this game at a good price because it's flying off the shelves.
Yeah, people love these things, and I mean, it's kind of like, I wouldn't say it's to that level of on the Switch with like Pokemon fans, right? Obviously,
of course,
they've been waiting for a game on consoles forever.
But Fire Emblem has always been the other system seller.
Yeah, and it's like Fire Emblem. When you say like the last one consoles was 2007, 12 years ago. You start to go, oh, wow. Yeah, I can see why they're hyped up for this. Because they've had our games, obviously, and they've had Fire Emblem Warriors. But it's like people want these things on consoles. So I want it to do well. I think when I was looking yesterday, it hit second week in a row in the UK was the number one game. So it seems like it's doing well everywhere right now. You guys want to do some news?
Sure.
Oh, hey, Sean.
Hey.
Let's do this.
Electronic mail of the future. Was that okay?
That was solid.
That was not as strong as I've been. I used to do a thing where I moved my arms and everything, and then it got where I stopped moving my arms and
because
I fell
you
off
finally realized, wait, there's no camera.
Yeah, but then it's affected me. Like when I used to bowl, and it was very. Is the correct term? Is it feminine or effeminate?
Effeminate.
Where I used to, you see a man walk up and he does a thing where he's like, I hold ball, I roll ball. And I would go up and I'd kind of like I'd slide my leg and my arms would kind of go out. And the guys I played with said it was very fairy-like. Well, when they said that, I stopped being fairy-like and my bowling score went like into the gutter. And then I don't know why I've stopped, and that ties back into the arms. I don't know why I've done that.
Chris, he's not endorsing the phrase fairy-like.
Yeah.
He's not.
Yeah.
Well, California just unsubscribed.
No, fairies, no, because fairies can be male or female. I've watched a lot of Tinkerbell movies, so I know this.
That's funny.
So,
if you want to write
letters,
if you want to write letters on fairies,
that was something that was said to me. I didn't say it. I said,
true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he's talking about how it
I
infected him as a child.
Yeah.
You can write your thoughts and prayers and opinions to weeklygameschat@gmail.com. That's weeklygameschat@gmail.com. Just like Chris did. Wait, what? He says, great show as always. Your topic about Wolverine Danzig, the artist, wanted to do it, but they told him no because his music. I'm trying to figure out. Wait, what did we do? Last week was
what Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
Danzig,
great show as always. Your topic about Wolverine.
Danzig's a band, right?
Yes, it is. Yeah, punk band. I've seen them.
this is the. I'm going to be honest.
He would have been
Yeah.
Troll.
No,
he writes it all the time.
Yeah, it's not a troll. I think we are missing some punctuation.
Yeah.
I'm not on Grammar Police Patrol. I think
Okay.
it's a long sentence.
Okay, so great show as always. Your topic on
About
your topic
Wolverine.
about Wolverine.
Period.
Danzig, the artist, wanted to do it, but they told him no because of his music. He would have been an amazing Wolverine.
Oh, he's talking about casting.
Got it. Okay.
He's talking about casting?
Yeah, so Danzig
The
wanted,
artist wanted to do the game. Maybe,
Or no. He
Remember we
wanted
were
to
talking
play
about Russell
Wolverine.
Crowe and Hugh Jackman last week
Yeah.
about how you cast the characters.
Oh,
Yeah, because
Danzig. The
Yeah.
artist. Who's Danzig? Google it. I don't know who Danzig is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's been around forever.
I don't know Danzig. I really.
He wanted to play Wolverine. And he's ripped enough to be Wolverine. For sure.
Not now, though. You think now?
Well, I think like back in the day, like back when Bryan Singer was doing it, he wanted to play
That would have been pretty good.
the original ones. Yeah.
Every time you say Bryan Singer, there's a jeweler, I want to say in Philadelphia, that I've heard a gajillion times on satellite radio. His name is Steven Singer. His website is I Hate Steven Singer because of the prices he gives on jewelry. And that's just where my mind goes every time you say Bryan Singer. There you go. That's into the mind of me.
That would be interesting though to see Danzig as Wolverine. We figured it out. It just
Possibly.
it took time, but we got there. Next up, a many. He writes in. He joined the Discord, I believe.
Welcome, sir.
Yeah, and said, "Hey guys,
Hey.
listening to your response to my email was really great, and your advice was very helpful. You don't have to read this email. This is mostly to please your guys' curiosity, your choice. I felt like you guys wondered about the actual situation, so here it is.
We read everything.
Yes." You bow to no one.
I need pictures.
I am 16 years old and about to be a junior at Central Florida High School. When it comes to if I am a good student, I think I am. This was the guy who said like
His parents had a problem.
Yes.
with
Yeah. Right now I'm third in my class. Geez, and a straight A student. So unlike us, he is not dumb. We are dumb. My parents recognize that and continually push me to work hard so that I can do even better than where I am right now. Because of this,
Let me read this.
There is always a reason why I can't play games during the school year. I am not allowed to play Monday through Thursday because of school nights. Fridays used to be the day where I would come back home and enjoy playing games till I fall asleep. The last 2 years of high school, things changed and my parents started getting very serious and always staying ahead. In freshman year, I was not allowed to play on Fridays anymore because that was the day I was supposed to go get ahead on work.
Makes sense.
On Saturday and Sunday, they would allow 1 to 2 hours each day. Jeez, poor child. And I had to cherish those moments. I bet you did. One of you guys mentioned if my parents would react if I sat and watched TV all day. I've had many arguments over this. During Friday nights, my family would be watching something like The Voice on DVR for hours, and if I watched it with them, it would be fine. But if I started playing video games, my mom would ask, how come I'm not doing schoolwork? I would bring it up to her, the fact that watching TV and playing games are still the same thing, but she insisted that because I am not with the family, it's different. Those arguments would always end with me saying I'm sorry because I knew that she would not understand and I should not have to make her go through the pain of arguing with me. That year I ended up with straight A's, but it was by very little. Before the sophomore year, my mom surprised me with the news that I need to pack up the PS4 for the school year. Jeez. At that point, I could not believe that, even though I got straight A's and passed my exams because of arguing, I had to put my gaming away. Luckily, the first semester went by fast because of all the work and Christmas break came. At this point, my mom was starting to listen to me more, and I was able to keep the PS4 for the second semester. During this time, there was still no gaming on Friday, but I was able to get my 2 hours in on Saturday and Sunday. The problem was that every time I would make a mistake or not do good on tests, instead of recognizing that I've been doing very good and it was one mistake, she went straight to blaming video games. Luckily, it did not happen often, and summer break came. I was ready to game a lot more. Sadly, though, I decided that I should also, or it was, I think this is what he meant to say. Sadly, it was decided that I should also take 4 classes, and that took a lot of my time. I still had way more time than the school year, and was able to talk more in the Discord because of it. Now that the summer is almost over, I'm about to lose a lot of my gaming time again, which made me really disappointed, and I anticipated to play more games. That's when I thought I should email you guys on your thoughts and prayers. Also, I do not dream of doing this professionally at all. That is really unrealistic, and I'm not one of those dreamers. Sorry. Game on.
I think it's a little heartbreaking.
Yeah, I think it's actually kind of cool because at one point you said at 16, I think you say you are, you're not able to do this, and this, and at schoolwork, but now you're emailing us in, and things seem to be a little better. So you've kind of come a little ways if you think about it.
Is it though?
But I'm just saying either way, like you're it's not bad that you're putting school first.
Mm. No, not at all.
In the long run, this will play out fantastically. It's possible that at some point you become like super smart and have your college degrees and you go find this fantastic job and you never game again.
True.
To me, that would be sad. But at the same time, you'll laugh at gamers because you'll probably own the gaming industries or something. I don't know.
Yes, it's he plays 2 hours on Saturday and Sunday. At that rate, if he's playing Red Dead Redemption 2,
right?
2025.
Yeah, 2025. Man,
I feel for him.
There's so many questions I want to ask that almost feel like are inappropriate as far as putting people in a box. Like how does religion go in? How does you know that kind of stuff? But I just don't know what to say. And he's not really looking for
that at all.
That really, we asked and he's telling us, but
it just sounds like, man, this seems so over the top. I mean,
maybe, but he seems like a very.
and the thing is, he's the one making a rational argument. He's like, wait a minute, you're spending time watching this thing for 3 hours. Why can't I use that time to do the thing I want to do?
And that makes sense. I mean, I see the side of course I do, because I always see both sides. But I see the mom going, well, look, it's with us. This being family is more important than you. But at the same time, we all know we all need individual time. Like we need our time to do something. It seems like he loves his mom, loves his family, which we all should,
For sure.
I mean, in a way, I'm like, dude, just keep doing good in school.
I have some advice that he doesn't necessarily need to follow, because only he can gauge, only he knows his parents, only he knows what type of folks they are.
Mm-hmm.
If you feel up to it, go up to your parents, ask them to keep an open mind, and show them this email.
Yeah.
You've pretty much articulated, and we can tell by this email that you're a really sharp kid. This articulates an argument that you can make to your parents. And if they simply read this,
And they reject it. Yeah, then they're...
look, it's possible, but,
Yeah.
Well, either way, he'll probably be in the same boat he is now.
But this email is an amazing case that you're making for how you feel. And unfortunately, with some people, there's a stigma around video games still. Yeah. You should have been around when I was a kid.
Especially this week.
That's why I did the giggle.
Yeah, I don't know. My advice to you is to be like Samuel Adams, who, when he needed to make a statement, he went to Boston Harbor and he tossed tea into the bay, and it was great. And we burned those ships to the ground.
And by tea, we do not mean your PlayStation 4.
Wait, Sam Adams was the one who did that?
Yeah, he's the.
Now he has a beer?
He's the what? He's the cousin.
He doesn't have a
John
beer.
Adams, right?
They named the beer
he's
after him because
brother.
he did the Tea Party.
He was also a famous brewer back in
He
Boston.
was a brewer.
He did all the things.
Yeah,
he's like FT.
he was
beer.
He was the big loud one. Well, to be fair, they're both loud. Both Adams were loud, but
No, John Adams was pretty reserved.
John back in the day was the one that Ben told to shut up when he was doing the declaration. It's like, don't say things in front of people unless you're agreeing with them. We're trying to get them on our side.
Yeah.
But he also saw King George.
Thanks for that email, though, my friend.
Anyways, next up, Eric. Yeah, and if you're able, before we go on, Eric, Amani, if you're able to either message on Discord or on here, and you do speak to your parents and you do take John's advice, let us know. We want to know.
We'll see how that plays out, or just keep emailing about other stuff.
Right? Next up, Strange Brigade from Eric. He writes in and says, Chris, John, and Sean. I wanted to let you know I love the show and have been listening for quite some time. I especially love the banter between what I perceive to be very good friends. So keep up the good work. See, John, banter is smiley face, smiley face.
Well played, sir.
I don't recall you guys reviewing Strange Brigade.
What the is that?
I really enjoyed playing this game, even with a few quirks it has, like not allowing you to hip fire your weapon. But for the most part, it's a fun game, especially in co-op mode. As he wrote,
Chris,
Coop.
that says Coop.
Coop! It's the main reason I decided to keep Xbox Games Pass. I would love to hear your opinions on the game. I have not played it. Have you, Sean?
I don't even know what it is.
Yeah. I'm just going to go on the record and say that it sounds like an online co-op shooter. John probably hasn't played it.
What was that one game?
Am I right? Okay, he's nodding.
What was that one game we played where it was 8-bit?
Diablo.
No, and it was like they were all themed after like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Rambo.
Oh, 8-bit hero?
No. It was awesome. Where you
something Force.
Yeah, Broforce. Broforce.
That's the jam.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, I'm in the market for a new 4K TV.
Me too.
Yeah. And I'm currently playing on an old Panasonic plasma TV with 720p resolution. Whew. It has been awesome TV, but it's past time for an upgrade. I was just curious what model of Samsung TV John has, because I want to make sure I don't buy it. Good news there, Eric. That model is no longer available because they used to have a separation between UHD and SUHD, and I think they just eventually, made it all UHD TVs. So
what do I got?
You have a UHD one. Just an older one than John I have. But anyway, I plan on purchasing a PS4 Pro to take advantage of the 4K gaming and movies. I bought Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition for $15
Yeah.
a while back because of the love this game gets from Chris and John. I just need a PS4 to play it. I have an excuse, Sean. What's your...
Oh, well, see, what had happened was...
And he says, love the podcast game on.
Thank you. We love you, sir. I want to play this game, my game of the year from 2017, and it might be about to happen. It's just got to happen, I think.
But somebody's going to send you that copy.
They're
right?
supposed to, right? But a poll happened that told me not to open my copy, which isn't the complete edition anyway.
That's true.
And then, like you said, the complete edition is like $1 now.
$1.
I have no excuse.
You really have no excuse. But then finally from here, we've got an email from Iron Puppy, lover Fire Emblem series, and he titled this Fire Emblem Three Houses. And he says simply, turns out Fire Emblem Three Houses is a pretty fun game. I still think the opening has way too much talking, but playing through it myself and letting myself get immersed, it's not as bad as I originally thought. He was very worried because he said, like a lot of the other ones, while there's talking, he kind of alluded to there's a lot less of it. You know, it's just a lot more tactical JRPG stuff.
But I love a good immersion.
Yeah. I've heard this is like, in a way, Persona 5 Lite.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah. Because that game's like 90%
So this is
talking.
warming me up to Persona 5.
Yeah, we're getting there, man.
Yeah.
We're getting
I
there.
think, dude, the Persona games, when I've watched them on like the Twitches, they seem so weird that they're awesome. With the music and the way that you fight and progress through the levels.
They're for sure one of the most unique out there.
Well, I remember when Tim was on, I don't remember being excited about Persona, but when I saw a Persona game, it was like, maybe that's not so bad. I don't know.
Yeah. I wish I could just blindly take a leap on those. At some point I probably will. But I just, because I think like something like that, it would have to be a situation where it's on sale and I don't have anything else to play, right? And I just happen to come across it. Like, I'm just like, oh, what is this? Sean.
Yes.
People write thoughts and prayers to us
They
at,
do.
on Twitter.
How did I say it earlier?
Thoughts and prayers.
No, I said Twitter.
Twatter.
Whoa.
Oh, what?
Whoa. That's
Clean. This is clean
That's
podcast.
fantabulous. Our good pal, Dravin, at S10 Dravin Kelly, says, at Weekly Games Chat, have you, Richards, ever thought about doing a second podcast? Once a week isn't enough. I wanted to ask you guys this question on air, but my response was simply this. We have not. I said, not sure how that could flow. Maybe take the stress off of finishing a game. I don't know. I'd love to do more, though. Can I say hell?
Yeah. Too late now.
Good thing. Hell, I'd love to get paid to do more. Ha 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 ha. Sean
has discussed he and I going out on a Nintendo / DJ podcast.
Yeah.
I will ruin you all.
Well, you hate Nintendo and you don't think I'm a DJ.
I've played more Nintendo games than you this year.
That's probably fair, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm literally playing a Nintendo exclusive right now.
I played one last week.
Yes, you did.
At Big Riff, at Weekly Games Chat, I saw that Dragon Age Inquisition is on sale for PlayStation, so I went to go listen to the episode where you reviewed it and couldn't find it because you didn't review it. I made that up in my head. Have any of you played it? And if so, what are your thoughts?
Which game again?
Dragon Age Inquisition.
That probably happened
pre us.
Yeah, so Dragon Age came out in fall of 2014. The show started in May of 2015, so obviously we didn't talk about it. But that, I believe, when we'd have conversation, I said that was
it later in the year.
like that was my game of the year for 2014 easily.
But the theme, you can go back and listen to every episode for a year, and it was pretty much called Witcher Podcast. Witcher Games.
But first, when Iron Draven is going to go back because he was like, "Do you all have a review thing?" I was like, "Look, you do not have to go back and make this guide. I'm not doing it." I said, "But if you want to, here's the feed. Please feel free to go back there and look at all of our episodes if you want to compile all the scores we've given through the years." And he was like, "What part would you start at?" I was like, "Well, I'd skip 2015."
All together. Did we come in summer of 2015?
May 2015 is like when Chris and I started. Like we did the first episode and the second episode I remember was Witcher. And then like the third or fourth was when I brought John in to do E3.
So that would have been going into June. Yeah. John and I
you came in like July, I think.
So and then the podcast just got better.
Yeah.
In July.
Do you remember the first?
Actually, we saw a downturn.
I was a little hack when I first came on.
Do you remember the first words that Sean said on the podcast?
Sup?
No.
Do you?
Yeah.
What I say? Not.
It was it was one of our greatest moments, and I wasn't even on the show.
West Side.
You introed, and you did like a freestyle of the Punch Out music. And Sean came in with a chorus, games and games. And that was his first.
That's right, games.
That was his first 3 words on the podcast. It was nervous and adorable.
Yeah, and all the things.
But with that Sean whimsy.
The whimsy.
I think, like I said, you came in starting July.
Yeah.
I think it was September because I remember this was a historic moment. Was when we finally had that episode because remember at first Chris only had 3 mics, so it would have to be me and Chris and then one of you two.
Yeah.
And then eventually we managed to get a 4th mic, I think from Daniel, and that was when we had the historic moment of all 4 of us
mics?
there. They were like basic XLRs.
Yeah, like just microphones.
Yeah. I don't even know if they were XLR. They might have actually just been
so much sweat.
Like the actual 16, the like audio jack,
Yeah, like they were not like this at all.
No.
And we're gonna hopefully get better.
Yeah.
So as I've tried to do the last couple of weeks on recording day, I just want to remind you guys that if you wanted to write in or shout us out on Twitter, you can do that. And I did so today. At Girl Dad Gamer, which we know who that is, he says, "Yeah, I got something to say. Y'all are awesome, jerks."
Thanks.
Thank you so much for that, sir. You two are awesome. At Joseph Ellison's been listening back through the archives of Weekly Games Chat this week. 2 things. And Johnny says it loud, John, so you know how he says it. 2 things. 1, you guys are great. Thank you for all the killer content every week. No, thank you, sir, for listening. Number 2, get John worked up and argue with him more. Endless entertainment for all of us. Smiley emoji. And
I did that for his birthday.
You, sir, are
What did
correct.
I get worked up?
When we were at Firehouse.
You just get worked up. You just get worked up.
It's not that hard, man. It's just,
Worked up. No, I believe you. I did. I'm sure I did. But.
At Ugalar_MP replied to my tweet today and said, "Game on. Game on. Just got home from work. Others are sleeping. It's 1 a.m. Time to play some Dead by Daylight. That's a John game. We do have some direct messages. Hey guys, this one's I missed. Imagine me missing something. This was back from at Mr_Maidson. Hey guys, I've been listening for a handful of months now, and this has become one of my favorite podcasts. I love the new God voice bit. It makes me laugh every time. What is the origin of some of your other regular bits? It's just a
do we even remember at this point?
There's this one where it goes.
Like for that one, for example, it's just us being together. That one, they did it. I loved it. And so I would say, hey, do the thing, and they would do the thing. Others are just maybe John says a thing, or I'll say like, see, John, this is, and it sticks
because John's a dumb nerd.
It's just us being us. I don't know.
Well, there's one thing we do recently is 2 things,
and that was
we'll do 2 things.
Yeah,
because I used to say pretentiously, well, 2 things can be true at the same time. What
is that?
What you got?
What happened?
Top one.
What happened? Did somebody die? No, there's laughter. No one died.
I'll show you afterwards.
All right. And he followed up.
John would appreciate that.
That was his first one. And I apologize I missed that, but you sent this one on the 29th of Julie. Hey, fellas, I'm just writing in to say that we made it. Starting this week, we have football every week until February. Even though you're in SEC territory, I'm still looking forward to your frequent football talk. I'm also still interested in what your answers would be to my previous DM. Thanks, guys. Game on. And hopefully we gave you both. You're the best for DMing us.
John, you know how I made you upset this week? Or the last couple of weeks, actually?
No.
I took a second job at Samsung customer service, and I've just been deleting your requests.
Yeah. My mortal enemy.
our friend Tej at El Piso Mojado.
What up, Teach?
Asks, I think he's talking to me when he says, why do you say motorcycle and not motorcycle?
That's a good question.
That's a fair question, sir. I need to tighten up.
Motorcycle.
Let's see. Our friend Robalak.
Oh, Rubalak.
On Thursday so that would have been 2 days after we recorded last week. Wait. Oh. What is all this? You think that means that's him too? It would say like many days ago, right? But since it's saying Thursday?
Yeah, if it says Thursday, then it all came from Thursday.
I'll leave out personal stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Hey guys, I just want y'all to know I made a Twitter just so y'all have another follower, but I'm going to go ahead and reply to that person. But my parents, so it has to do with the email about the kid.
Yeah.
My parents were the same way, always telling me that I would rot my brain by playing video games. I tried to show them articles, do all sort of research, but they would never listen about it and it ended up making them more mad. When I would try to prove it to them, but I agree with Weekly Games Chat, anything that you do in moderation can be good. There have been numerous articles showing hand-eye coordination and quick thinking are greatly improved from people who do play games compared to people who don't. But sorry for being a little lengthy. Game on from your mom's box. P.S. My wife, your wife.
Don't worry, that was a good length.
is becoming accustomed to me watching you every Monday for your Twitch, Chris. And I'm sorry, John, didn't realize that you had your own. We'll try to catch it the next time you're on.
Sean, maybe?
John
yeah.
No, he put John, but because the next one he says, what is John stream? John doesn't stream. Sean does from time to time. It's been very rare. I have what they call the bootleg internet upload, which makes it very hard for me to stream. If you want to find me, Chris will tell you my handle in a minute on Twitter.
What's your handle?
DJ Haygood.
Hey guys, check out my boy DJ Haygood on Twitch.
Yeah, Twitch. And that's HEYGOD. And then one more from today says, hey, hope I caught y'all before the end of the show, but hope y'all are having a good week and hear from y'all tomorrow. Sir, we are having a good week and it was better because you direct messaged us on the Twitter. Do we have any new followers? No, we have followed everybody back.
Yay.
And as he said, he had followed us and we followed him back.
We're at 215.
That was good. Yeah.
This has been episode 216 of Weekly Games Chat. If you like the show, subscribe to us on iTunes or wherever podcast service you use, and hopefully you will get a new episode of Weekly Games Chat, which brings me to an important point. We are in the process of switching over from our distributor, right, as far as where our podcast is uploaded, right? From what I've gathered, and I tested it out briefly on Saturday, the links should work, okay? And things should be going to the correct places still.
Don't screw this up, Chris.
Yeah, I know. So what I need from you, from the listeners, if you had to dig to get this episode or anything, or you ever notice, there's not an episode out on a Wednesday, and you check the Twitter and you're like, but they posted something there, right? Where you usually go to, like whether it's Spotify, Android, iTunes. I think I'll know if it's not on iTunes because I'll be panicking and there'll be a burning fire and stuff. But if that's the case, I need you to let me know so that I can try to fix this and get the links back up, because usually these things go smoothly, but when you move anything digitally, there's always the risk that something can break. So that's important for you guys to know. Besides that, though, make sure you email us to weeklygameschat@gmail.com. Write us on Twitter. Check out us. Check us out on Twitch. As Sean said, he wants you to smash that like button on DJ Haygood's Twitch page, right? Or is it follow?
No, it's just a follow.
Yeah. Ring the bell. Isn't that what they say?
Rock. I don't know.
Hey man, don't forget to subscribe, follow, and hit that bell.
Hit the bell so you know when we go on. We also want to do that for the Weekly Games Chat Twitch page. Saying.
Yes, and also Weekly Games Chat Twitch page. Make sure you come check us out. Usually starting somewhere between 7 and 8 p.m. on Monday nights. I apologize for those who came in last night and did not see me talking as much because I was so freaking battle focused and trying not to lose people. That's probably the hardest battle I've had in that game. But I survived it. After much frustration, I survived it.
The hardest battle is life.
That's true.
That's deep, isn't it?
Pain's like the hardest battles when I got a itch on my back and I gotta scratch it.
There was somebody celebrated a work anniversary, and John saying that reminded me of this. Sorry, I don't mean to cut in.
Yeah.
But the thing, it basically says when you think work is too stressful, so there's a person sitting like on a bucket and they got their hands in their face, and it says when you think work is too stressful, remember that you die. I don't get it. I don't understand it. Like this person sent this one continuously. Like that's one of their things they send to people.
Well,
How to break that down for me?
I often call my father, and Chris has met my dad. Have you met my dad? Chris has met my dad, and he would agree that he's a bit of a cynical guy.
Yeah.
Very.
And I'll say something like, "Hey, Dad, what are you doing?" He goes, "Oh, waiting for the sweet release of death."
Yeah.
So it's along that vein?
Yeah, it's just a cynical. Just remember, if you're having a bad day, you could die soon.
So that's like putting extra stress on what you think is already a stressful day kind of thing?
Think of like Monty Python's Always Look on the Bright Side of Life, where they're literally singing about that, right? That line as they are being crucified.
Oh.
See, Colin Moriarty, for example, on the show often says he wishes a meteor would hit the planet to just wipe us all out and put us out of our misery.
Oh,
That's so scary.
isn't it? Can happen.
Yeah.
Don't forget. Hope to see that Christopher Nolan movie next year.
But before it happens, give us a 5-star review.
Yeah,
so
we appreciate that.
Oh, that's funny.
5-star reviews and all that good stuff.
I
helps
can't
people
die with
find
a
the show.
4.5-star review rating. I can't do this anymore. I need a 5-star review.
Until next time, though, I will simply say...
Can I add one thing?
Oh, yeah, sure.
And you guys will probably agree. Legit thoughts and prayers for anyone affected by the things that happened this week. I'll leave it there. If you've watched the news in America, you know it's nothing we like to see. Just want to say, especially, if you were affected, man, it sucks. And
true thoughts and prayers. Not joking.
Yeah.
We're truly thoughtful, and hearts go out to anyone affected. And John, you got anything? You good?
No, I'm good.
You good? All right. Until next time. Game on, Sean.
Game on, Chris.
Game on, John.
Game on, Chris and Sean.
Game on, Johnny Bear.
I forgot to hit.
One of these days you're gonna forget.
It was right there. I was about to do it, and I was like, wait. Your
Oh, peace out, everybody.
Thug life.
Oh yeah, I gotta hit the button.